Marking the start of Mental Health Awareness Month. And this morning we have expert insight into the decision by Seattle Public Schools and the Kent School District to sue social media giants when it comes to students' well-being. You might remember this happened a bit earlier this year, but those districts say that tech giants, like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, harm students' social, emotional, and mental health. Several school districts across the country echoed those allegations in similar lawsuits against those companies. So, where do the complaints stand months later, and what do parents need to know right now? Joining us live to talk about this, Dolman Law Group's head of litigation, Stanley Geip, joining us here. Stanley, great to have you. Good morning.
Hey, thanks for having me on. And this is a super, super important issue that I don't think a lot of parents realize and see what's going on out there. Any of us with children, or if you've got friends with children, you know, social media is almost always on their devices, be it a phone, be it an iPad, be it a computer. They consume social media. It's almost like your supermarket for mental health.
Yeah.
When you go ahead.
Oh, and I was going to say, and this is sort of a new school problem within the last 20 years. We're starting to see the ramifications of this social media and what it does to kids' mental health. Can you talk a little bit deeper about how it could be harming students, especially when it comes to mental health?
Yeah, we back up and look at sort of the social media platforms as a whole. A lot of times we think of them almost like a supermarket where you go through and browse. And the issue isn't the content that's in there. The issue is the way they decide what to put in your basket, because now they've got algorithms that choose what your children see. What your children see is based on what they've spent time looking at, okay? Let's say you were in a grocery store and you're on a diet. You might look at the cupcakes, but you know they shouldn't be in your cart. Well, now social media sees them look at the cupcakes, they just put more cupcakes in the cart. So everything children look at and see isn't necessarily going to be healthy. The algorithm chooses how to feed it to them and in what ways. And it presents an almost artificial view of society, presenting things as normal, which might not be normal. Okay, now, one of the big things that you will hear children say about TikTok is TikTok knew I was blank before I did, whether it be gay, anorexic, whatever that trait is, because they see TikTok feeding them these videos before they realize they had this tendency. Big question is feeding those videos causing the tendency? Okay, or was a tendency already there? There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on with the developing teenage and adolescent brain. Okay, it's not able to filter information the same way a full adult brain is. Okay, so what we run into is a series of people who get out there, they've got false perceptions of the world, and it starts to weigh on them. It creates feelings of inferiority. Whereas you used to look out across the neighborhood and see what was happening, now you look out across sort of the galaxy or universe and see an almost artificial scene of what's going on.
So, when we talk, we just talked about, these school districts coming forward with these lawsuits. In your professional opinion, obviously we're just looking at what could possibly happen, but how do you expect these types of things to play out?
I expect them to be successful. It's all based on the algorithms, okay? So these companies are using programs to decide what social media your children will consume, okay? They're selling time. Time and consumption is what they want. They want more face time on the screen. And be it an unhealthy thing that your child watches or a healthy thing, all they care about is the amount of time. As you know, children look at all different kinds of stuff as we're growing up. Okay, we explore different things that may or may not be healthy for us. Sometimes they get caught in sort of an unhealthy sphere where the social media notices it, they spend time looking at it, and it reinforces these unhealthy ideas. A lot of times you get teenage girls struggle with body image. Okay? If you're someone who's struggling with weight and the only thing you see are pictures of very thin girls, then suddenly you think you're the only one that has a weight problem, and it creates this false impression of society. It contributes to depression. It contributes towards an inability to concentrate during the day.
Well, Stanley, it's great to have you here and to break this down for us here. Dolman Law Group's head of litigation, Stanley Geip, joining us this morning. And as these lawsuits play out, we'd love to have you back on to talk more about it.
Hey, absolutely. Anytime. There's probably hours of stuff you could talk about on this, and there's going to be a lot of interesting things develop as these get a little deeper into litigation.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. Thank you.